Welcome back to All This Math. This is Professor Parker. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you like this video. All right, go ahead, hit the like button. Also, make sure you share this video with at least one other person. All right, now, what are we doing today? I was just sitting there sizing this problem up. What we're doing today is we're factoring out a GCF. GCF, of course, stands for greatest common factor, right? It's an acronym, stands for greatest common factor. All right, now what is our expression? We have this trinomial here. It's called a trinomial because it has three terms. Like a tricycle has three wheels, this trinomial has three terms. 6x squared t is our first term. 8xt is our second term. 12t is our third term. All right, so we got the three terms, right? Now, what I always tell students is separate the terms into coefficients and variables. Coefficients and variables. So identify your coefficients. 6 is a coefficient, right? 8 is a coefficient. 12 is a coefficient. 12 means we have 12 t's. A coefficient tells you how many of the variable term you have. We have 12 of them. How many xt's do we have? We got 8 of them. How many x squared t's do we have? We got 6 of them, right? First, we want to find the GCF of just the coefficients, right? At least that's how I do it, right? What's the coefficient of, I'm sorry, not coefficient. What's the GCF of 6, 8, and 12? 6, 8, and 12. The GCF is 2. It's 2, right? It's not 4. It's not 6, right? It's not nothing else. It's not 8. It's 2. Why is it 2? Because 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 equals 8. 2 times 6 equals 12. 2 is the greatest number or the biggest number. The G in GCF stands for greatest. 2 is the greatest number that can multiply into all three of these. All three of these. 4 can multiply into 8 and 12. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. But 4 can't multiply into 6 with another whole number. 4 times a fraction equals 6. But you can't multiply 4 by a whole number and get 6. That's why 4 can't be the GCF. You got to understand, once you get to this level, you got to understand how to find the greatest common factor of numbers. If you don't, I got a whole playlist called Factors and Multiples that you can use to gain better understanding. It's on this channel. That's why I told you to subscribe. I'm trying to look out for you, right? I want you to understand. I also want you to understand the difference between LCMs and GCFs. LCM stands for least common multiple. That's not the same thing as a GCF, a greatest common factor. They're not the same thing. All right. So after we deal with the coefficients, now we deal with the variables. Look for variables that are present in all three terms, meaning they're common. I see an x squared here. I see an x to the first power here. I don't see no x over here. Oh, be careful. That means x is not part of the GCF because it ain't common. Some people say 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but that don't work when we're looking for a GCF. With a GCF, we need 3 out of 3. We need to have an x in all three of these terms for it to be considered common. The big C in GCF means common. 12t don't have no x. Because 12t don't have no x, x ain't common. So we're not worried about x in terms of the GCF. Let's look at the next variable, t. I see t to the first, t to the first, t to the first. T is common. T is common. X wasn't common, but t is common, right? So t is part of the GCF. And like, how do I know to put t? Because normally what we do is we say, okay, we're going to take the variable with the smallest exponent. They all got the same exponent, 1, 1, 1. And again, with any variable, right, I've said this on many videos where this comes up. Anytime a variable does not have, or even a number, does not have an exponent written, you need to understand that means that the exponent is a 1. This is t to the first power. This is t to the first power. This is t to the first power. What's understood don't need to be said. What's understood don't need to be written. All right? But you got to make sure you understand. If you don't understand it, then you need to write it. Until you understand it, and you don't need to write it, right? All right, so the GCF is 2t. So if my GCF is 2t, what happens next is we are going to, and I'm going to just put an arrow down like that, right? We're going to put the GCF, then we're going to put a parentheses, and we're going to write a trinomial next to it. What's going to go inside this space? A trinomial. Where are we going to get the trinomial from, though, is what you should be wondering. We're going to divide each of these three terms by the GCF. Divide each of these three terms one at a time. Divide this by the GCF. Divide this by the GCF. divide this by the GCF. And then we're going to take those quotients, we're going to put them inside the parentheses. So what's 6x squared t divided by 2t? What does that look like? Let's write it down, see what it looks like. 6x squared t divided by 2t. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Make sure you know your division facts. Know your division facts. X squared divided by, well, ain't no x term. So that means x squared is going to be part of the quotient because there's nothing to divide x squared by. T divided by t is 1. Anytime you divide a variable, a number, by the same exact variable or number, your quotient is 1. So 3x squared times 1. What does that equal? Just 3x squared. That's 3x squared. So what do I put the 3x squared? Inside the parentheses. Boom. Now, we do the same thing with 8xt. Then we're going to have 8xt divided by the GCF, which is 2t. All right, what's 8 divided by 2? 8 divided by 2 is 4. X, again, this doesn't have an x term, so we can't divide x by anything. So x is just part of the quotient. What's t divided by t? Again, 1. So 4x times 1 is just 4x. So we're going to put plus because it's positive. It's not minus. It's not negative, not negative, not negative. So we put plus 4x. Then third term, 12t divided by 2t. What's 12 divided by 2? That's 6. What's t divided by t? 1. So we left with 6. So you put plus 6. This is our final answer. This is factored form. 2t times the quantity of 3x squared plus 4x plus 6, right? Sometimes you would be able to continue factoring. Let me look at this for a second to see if we could continue factoring, even though that would be beyond the scope of this particular video. I'm just curious because sometimes, even after you factor out a GCF, the new trinomial or new binomial or whatever can still be factored further. Let me see something. Three and 2. 1 and 6. I don't think this can be factored any further. I could be wrong, but I don't think this could be factored any further. But even if it could, like I said, that is beyond the scope of what I'm showing you in this video and what I intended to show you in this video. So it's irrelevant in this particular circumstance if it can be factored any further. You know what I'm saying? But the method that would be used would be factoring out a trinomial when a does not equal 1. A is the term that's adjacent, is the coefficient of x squared, right? That's what a is, right? So I got a whole playlist where I show you different methods for factoring trinomials, 1, 2, 3, trinomials, 1, 2, 3, when a, your lead coefficient is not 1. This is a 3. This is not a 1, right? So check out that playlist because that's something else you're going to need to do, right? Now, if you're in class doing this right now, eventually, maybe in about 2-3 weeks, you should be, well, it depends on what order your teacher's going in, but eventually you're going to need to know how to factor trinomials, quadratic, biggest exponent is a 2, quadratic trinomials, 1, 2, 3, that many terms, where your lead coefficient is a 1 and your lead coefficient is not a 1. All right, so yeah. So, all right, so yeah, and this is one of my Marcus Garvey t-shirts. Had an ex-girlfriend got this for me back in the day. It's one of my favorite t-shirts. Marcus Garvey talking about progress. Progress is the attraction that moves humanity. It's a Garvey quote. All right. Make sure you know about Marcus Garvey. Make sure you know about the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Do your research. All right. Practice these problems and study Marcus Garvey. I will see you on the next video. Peace.